So you can see there's a Supra GT4 Evo 2. This is a Lamborghini Huracan Technica. And so sure enough, he opens a little bit of a gap here, but he's not, and he brakes early here on this turn. So now I'm saying, okay, let me through right here. Here we go. Welcome back to It's Track Time. In Europe, I was allowed to pass anyone on track at any point without a point by. But in the US, with the run groups that I run in, you're required to give a point by per pass. And in the advanced run groups, you can do this anywhere on track. And in the novice run groups, a lot of times they restrict you down to just doing this on the straightaways. The point bys come in all different flavors. The one that you should do is sticking your arm completely out the window, so it's very clear. But when you're on track, you'll see that. And then sometimes you'll see just a finger sticking out the window. Other times you'll get a nice wave followed by the point by. And so you have to really pay attention to when this is going to happen and try to time it properly so that you can smoothly go around the car without losing your pace. This is the way we communicate on track, so it's very important that everyone does this and everyone anticipates the car coming around, and you're basically communicating with them to let them know, yes, now is the time. Please go around me. I'm going to stay on my line and you can move around me. When this communication breaks down, people get very upset and they don't like you to pass them without a point by. Here's an example. And then I start moving back online, and then this little GR86 passes me without a point by. Really dangerous. I mean, I was coming across and I see this flash of red paint in my mirror and he comes sliding through. I could easily clip him. Let me start by showing you an example of where I made a mistake and it forced another driver to make a bad decision. So this is lap number one. In lap number one, you're trying to find your pace and you're trying to get past the cars that are under your pace. So you're trying to move forward through the traffic. And we started towards the back. This is Larry. He's got another GT4 RS, and we're picking our way through this traffic. And I've got a rule where if I'm in line trying to get through the traffic and I'm not at pace, I'm not going to let a car behind me that I know is faster than me pass me and just keep pushing me back in the line. So if I'm not on pace, I just wait until I get past the cars, the traffic, and then let the car come by me. So you can see there's a Supra GT4 Evo 2, which is a Supra race car that's built by the factory, and there's a pro driver in it. And so he's coming up on us, and we're in this pack trying to move through, and he's like wanting to get past us as well. So I'm just like, okay, yeah, wait in line. We're trying to get by this car as well. And so I'm trying to get by this silver. I should have got the pass right here with this silver car, but instead I'm going to have to wait until the front straight. Now we come on the front straight and watch what the Supra does. It pulls up into my blind spot. So I lost him right there. And I'm focused on the silver car. I'm looking to see if Larry's going to let me give a pull. So I'm going to move to the front there. And then I come back and look in my mirrors and I'm looking for the Supra and it's gone. I don't know where it went. And then I get into turn one and boom, he's in my apex. And I had to like counter steer off of the apex to not smack into him. So that's something that shouldn't have happened. I shouldn't have got into a situation where I lost him. And I think if you want to be seen, you don't want to sit in someone's blind spot, especially when you have Hans devices on and stuff, and you can't turn your head around, obviously, and look in your blind spot. So you're counting on your mirrors. And if you're not in the guy's mirrors, I usually look at the guy's mirror and make sure I can see him. I can see his face in the mirror. And if you can't, then you're in the blind spot. And so when I came back to my mirrors, I looked at my rearview mirror, he was gone. I looked at my side mirror, he was gone. So I just figured, well, I don't know where he went, but he's gone. And that was the mistake. I should have kept track of that guy, and I lost track of him. He ended up getting frustrated, so he just took the pass without a point by. And then you end up in this communication problem where, we could have clipped into each other in that turn one apex. I've seen cars clipped there because of this same communication problem. So you want to avoid that. Now let me show you a scenario on track that happens more frequently than you would think, but especially in the advanced run group, you wouldn't think that this is going to happen all the time, but it does. And when it does happen, you've got to decide what to do, and some people get frustrated and they make bad decisions and they let the frustration get the best of them. Other people, when this happens, they just pull into the pits and say, screw this, and then roll through the pits and come back out the other side, and the car that you're having problems with is long gone, and you don't have to deal with it anymore. That's the proper way to handle this situation. But when it happens to you, you get real frustrated, and then you start doing things that are not allowed on track. So I'm working my way through traffic here. Once again, we're in lap 2, I guess, here. So you're working through traffic, and everyone's cooperating. Everything's going real well. And then I get up here, and you can see there's this Lamborghini in front of me. So this is a Lamborghini Huracan Technica, which is a step down from the STO, which is their track-focused car. So it's got the same engine as that car, but it's not as tuned for the track as the STO. And so this is a 640 horsepower car. Definitely a hell of a lot more powerful than mine. 30% more power than my car. It has a 5.2 liter V10 in it. And so it can probably do north of, I don't know, probably 165 on the back straight. So that's what these kind of people have fun with. They like to go fast on the back straight. But it doesn't have any downforce or anything. So when you get into the S's, it's not going to move through the S's very fast. It weighs about the same as my car, so it doesn't have a weight problem. And it's rear-wheel drive, so it doesn't have an all-wheel drive system in it, which makes it real heavy. So, but it doesn't have any downforce, and you can see how we get up on top of it pretty quickly in the S's. And now you're riding the back of this guy, and you're trying to convince him to give you a point by, and he's having no part of it. And so he's waiting for, the straight. So there's a little straight coming up here, and he knows he's going to open a gap on me. So he's just like, I'll just open the gap right here. And so sure enough, he opens a little bit of a gap here, but he's not, and he brakes early here on this turn. So now I'm saying, okay, let me through right here. Here we go. No. And you can see he's got these yellow X's on the back. That typically means, watch right here. There's the point by. Okay, there's the point by, and there's the foot to the floor. So this happens a lot. You got a car, and when I used to run 300 horsepower cars, it was really painful because you would catch up to a McLaren or something, and then the guy would put his foot down and leave you in the dust. So I figured, okay, here we go. He's going to give me a point bar right here. No. So now I'm sitting behind the car again. And so they want to open up a big gap on you on the back straight, and then they think they're going to be able to hold that gap. And sure enough, you're right on top of him again. And you're trying to get in his mirrors so he can see you and make sure that he's aware that you want to get the pass. And you're waiting for that point by. Like I said in the advanced group, you should be able to get a point by anywhere on the track. So any of these slow turns is a prime place to get a point by. And so you're sitting here waiting, and now here we are in the carousel. I'm kind of like getting to the inside of him here so he can see me, and nothing. And now he's opening up his throttle. And then you come around, turn 19, you're kind of getting in his mirror again. Can you see me? No, we're not going to do anything. Now here we come on the front straight again. So I'm like, oh God, here we go again. And sure enough, there's the point by, and there's the foot to the floor. So I'm like, come on, come back. Give me a lift. Give me a little lift here so I can get around you. And he doesn't want any part of that. So now here I am back on him again on turn 1, and you're in his mirror, in his other mirror. Oh yeah, then I gave another car a point by, which I told you I don't do that, right? If I'm not on pace. But this guy was like, he's been sitting behind me, this evolution, for quite a while. So I thought, let me see if I give him a point by, what happens. And sure enough, he passes me with the point by. Then he passes the Lamborghini without a point by. That's how he got by the Lamborghini. So I'm like, oh crap. So that didn't work. I'm still stuck. You can see the blue flag flying there. The flaggers are flagging him for blue, and he's not paying attention to it. And I'm sitting here still working it, trying to get around him. And yeah, he doesn't want to. And then right here, he goes off the track. He almost put 2 tires in the dirt, which could have been really bad. Now he's kind of wiggling around this car. And now I'm like, okay, here we go. Give me the point bar right here. Here's a good spot. Here it is. No point by. Then we get back on the back straight, and there's the point by again. And the foot to the floor. So I'm like, okay, how am I going to get out of this? Like I said, the right thing to do is to go through the pits and just get away from this person. But I figured, okay, I'm gonna pass him in the braking zone here. He gave me the point by back there, so I'm gonna take it right here, and I just passed him. technically that's not legal. That's not a good thing to do, because he didn't communicate with you at that point saying, I'm ready for the pass. And I just took it because he gave me the point by back at the beginning of the straight. So I'm kind of stretching the rules there. I mean, you guys can tell me what you would do in that situation. I'm sure everyone's had to deal with this, but it's very frustrating when it happens, and you're burning fuel and you're off pace and you're just like, what am I? I'm wasting time out here. And like I said, the right thing to do is to just go through the pits, line back up at a different place on the track, and continue on with your session instead of getting all frustrated and doing something aggressive that is not allowed. Here we are several sessions later, and I'm coming around the carousel, and oh, here he is again. So I thought, oh, here we go again. I'm going to catch up to this guy, and then I'm able to get a pass. So I'm like, oh, geez. And I'm getting some good times here. This is like 2:20 or something, and it's really hot outside, so that's a good time on a hot day. So I'm okay. I'm at pace. And this guy's I'm getting stuck behind him for 2 laps. So I come up on him, and he gives me a point by, and boom, I right past him. That was wonderful. So I don't know, like I was trying to tell you guys that the yellow X's typically mean that there's an instructor in the car. I don't know if he was being tested for the advanced run group at that point, and maybe that's why the guy was in the car. I don't know what was going on there, but normally you don't see yellow X's on cars in the advanced run group, but maybe someone had a talk with him and said, hey, you need to let cars go by. I didn't go and talk to anyone about it, whatever, you just go deal with it later on. But anyway, he did a good job the next time I ran into him, so yeah, kudos to him, and keep your head cool when you're at the track. Don't do anything stupid and end up clipping a car. So we'll see you at the track next time.